I might be a little early, but I'm so excited. D23 Expo is right around the corner. What is going on, everybody? I'm David, and this is our family small shop, Mickey and Mandy. We are Disney adults, and since we are Disney adults that own a small shop, that not only means that we get to make custom bags, screen printed shirts, and handmade home decor inspired by everybody's favorite magical theme parks, but it also means that we get to create content inspired by those exact theme parks. And this is sort of, I guess, what I am calling kind of our season finale for this slew of videos. So we've kind of given you some behind the scenes looks on how we make some of the screen printed shirts and home decor and bags that are on our shop. But we've also been doing a little bit of recapping of some tips and tricks and recommendations and reviews of our last trip to the Walt Disney World Resort. And I honestly can't think of a better way to wrap up this season of videos and kind of kickstarting the next set of videos by talking about the D23 Expo. I know it's still kind of beginning of August. I might be ahead of the curve. I don't care. I'm excited. So this first D23 video that we're going to be doing is kind of a previously on with a little mixture of my predictions and what I would like to hear announced at the D23 Expo. But before I go too much further forward, couple of housekeeping items. If you're not already, be sure you hit that subscribe button over here on our YouTube channel. That way you don't miss out on any future product deep dives from our family small shop, and you also don't miss out on future Disney parks inspired content. Again, after our little bit of a break here, after D23 kind of comes and goes, we are going to be doing kind of a D23 recap video. We're going to be jumping back into that Disney parks content. And if you're not already, make sure that you are following us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. This is a great way to make sure that you are staying in the loop with what's going on with us in our shop in between YouTube episode sets. But this is where you'll find out about any new product drops, any sales that we're running, and we are going to continue doing our weekly ready to ship drops. Those are great spots to make sure that you know what is going to be coming to those weekly ready to ship drops. So that's the shop housekeeping items. Now we're getting on to D23. So pull on that yellow strap and let's ride. So there are two different concepts and different terms that I'm going to be throwing around a lot in this video that I want to make sure we're all on the same page with. And this is really for anybody if this is the first D23 Expo that you're following, or if you need a little bit of a refresher. So if you don't know already, D23 is kind of like the Disney company's Comic-Con. This is a whole weekend-long convention expo where Disney kind of dives in and announces all sorts of things coming to their films and television and their theme parks. The theme parks are going to be the big thing that we're going to be covering here in this video, since everything that we make for our shop is for you to wear in the Disney parks. And also, since the Disney parks are kind of more my area of expertise anyway, that's going to be the part of D23 that we're going to be discussing in this video and when we come back from our break. So D23 is just in general the expo. It's the convention. And there is one other piece of terminology that I'm going to be throwing around a lot in this video, I think. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page with what that is, and that is called a blue sky concept. This is something from Disney Imagineering where it's nothing official, but it's an idea that they had that they are taking seriously enough that they are putting brush to canvas and kind of showing us, the theme park guests, hey, we have an idea for this land in this park. This is kind of what we're thinking it's going to look like. This is where we're pulling our inspiration from. We're going to be telling stories from this, and that. But again, it's nothing official. We don't know anything about rides or characters or dining experiences. This is just kind of Disney Imagineering being like, hey, you know, it'd be so stupid. Monsters Inc. Land and Studios is more or less what the D23 Expo is, and they show us that in the form of blue sky concepts. All right, we're all set on the vocabulary. Let's keep going. So this next part of our D23 video that I'm going to be digging into is sort of a mixture of previously on D23 with just a little dash of where are they now? Because Disney did announce a lot last year when it came to their parks, and there's a lot of stuff that they have started. There's a lot of stuff that we don't really know a lot about. And there's a lot of things, actually, when I was doing my research for this video, that has already come and gone. So again, we're kind of going to start off with a previously on with a little bit of dash of where are they now. And I'm not going in any particular order here, except for when I did my video on TikTok last year of my D23 recap. This was kind of in order of things that got me still excited, but not as excited, to things that had me like bouncing off the walls, like what? So starting off the Where Are They Now D23 announcements, we are going to head over to Disneyland when they were announcing the Avatar land that's going to be coming to that park. When they announced Avatar coming to the Disneyland Resort last year, not a lot of information was known except for the fact that Avatar is coming, and they are going to be pulling in inspiration from Avatar Way of Water and a little bit of Avatar Fire and Ash that is going to be coming out winter of this year, 2025. But again, not a lot of other information was given around specific attractions or dining experiences, or the one that was on everybody's mind, where is it going? So where is this D23 announcement now? Well, it was actually recently confirmed that this new Avatar land is going to be going at Disney's California Adventure, and it's going to be kind of going in that backlot area where the Hollywood Lounge is, and more notably where Mike and Sully to the Rescue currently resides. So we are losing a pretty big chunk of old California Adventure to make way for this land. Work is expected to start on this in early 2026. That really just means that we can expect Mike and Sully to the Rescue to close early 2026. Not much else has been given. So this year for D23, I'm kind of anticipating that we're going to be getting maybe some more in-depth concept art. I think we're going to probably get some more specifics on what kind of rides and attractions to expect. Maybe an opening date. Maybe. Moving right along, it was also announced last year that a new nighttime parade was going to be coming to the Magic Kingdom at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. And wouldn't you know it, Disney Starlight Dream the Night Away has since debuted at the Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World. Had its first showing in July of this year, so we're kind of done with that one. Heading over to Disney's Hollywood Studios, it was announced that the Mandalorian and Grogu were going to be making some sort of appearance on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. And that's also not just for Hollywood Studios, mind you, pardon me. That's also going to be applying to Galaxy's Edge out in Disneyland. Again, not a whole lot was given. We did get some concept art, and they did say that this was going to be kind of going alongside the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that is supposed to be coming out at some point in 2026. So I think what we're going to be getting is some more specific concept art, and I think we're going to be getting more of a timeline of when Smuggler's Run is going to be closing in Disney World and Disneyland, and maybe roughly when it's going to be opening. My personal prediction is that Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is going to close in both Star Wars Galaxy's Edges in kind of, I would think, mid to early spring of 2026, slated to open that summer to kind of go alongside the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. We also got a couple different lounge announcements last year at D23. One of them was for a Pirates-inspired lounge over at the Magic Kingdom, and one was a Spaceship Earth-inspired lounge over at Epcot. Beacon Barrel is slated to open later this year over at the Magic Kingdom, and the Spaceship Earth Lounge GO82 opened in June of this year, so that one's officially done. Another one that has already come and gone is that they did announce an official opening date for Tiana's Bayou Adventure over at Disneyland. Obviously, that has been open for a hot minute. They have not fixed the animatronic goofs of that attraction on either coast, but it has opened. They announced that it was going to open in November of 2024. It's going strong-ish. It was also announced that Test Track 3.0 over at Epcot in Disney World was going to be opening 2025 at some point. And mark this in the column of things that have already come and gone. Test Track 3.0 has opened at Epcot. It reopened actually in July of this year. Now we're getting into the slightly more noteworthy one, so I appreciate you bearing with me there. But we did get some more information about what is coming to Avengers Campus, kind of that next phase of Avengers Campus experiences over at Disney's California Adventure. We did get a little bit more information about, I always mess up the name, Avengers Infinity Defense. I always want to call it Quest, but it's Infinity Defense. We got a little bit more concept art about the different characters we're going to be interacting with, the different worlds that we're going to be going to. We also got a look at sort of this multiversal jump point Wakandan ride vehicle, and a little bit more concept art for this King Thanos character that's going to be debuting in this attraction as well. And there's also an Iron Man Flight Club attraction that's going to be coming to Avengers Campus as well. I think for D23 this year, We're going to get a more solid opening date for the Iron Man Flight Simulator attraction. And I think we're going to get more specific stuff about that one because I think that attraction is going to be kind of meant to tie us over as theme park guests until this Avengers Infinity Defense finally opens up. I want to be optimistic, but I don't think we're going to get anything more specific about Avengers Infinity Defense during this D23 event. This just feels like a very large and ambitious attraction, and they keep giving us little bits and pieces and snippets every single year. Again, I'm an optimistic guy. I don't think we're going to get anything more specific about Avengers Infinity Defense this year. Maybe we'll get a when construction is supposed to start update. I don't think we're going to get an opening date. Another big land expansion, we got information about a new Cars land that's going to be coming to the Magic Kingdom in Disney World. Very controversial one. Not for me, but for others. It was announced that a brand new Cars land was going to be coming to Magic Kingdom. When they announced it last year, all we knew is that it was coming to Frontierland and Magic Kingdom. No one really knew where. They've been kind of name dropping this idea called Beyond Big Thunder Mountain for a good couple of years now at D23 in 2023 and 2024. So everyone kind of thought it was going to be on the other side of Big Thunder Mountain. No big deal. There have been some developments with this new Cars land. It's not Cars Land anymore. It's called Piston Peak. And it is already, they've already started the work on it, but it is going smack dab in the middle of Frontierland, where Tom Sawyer's Island and the Rivers of America currently reside. At the time of recording, they are supposed to be in the process of draining the Rivers of America. They're going to level out all that land so that way they can start building from the ground up this brand new landscape going into Frontier. So given the fact that we've already got information from it this year, and the fact they've already started construction on it, I don't think we can expect anything brand spanking new in terms of updates for Piston Peak. Maybe we'll get a rough opening date. If we do, it's going to be a while out because, again, they are still kind of in the process of making that space workable for building this Cars land. Also, it was announced that the first ever Coco ride is going to be going to Disney's California Adventure. Not a whole lot else was given except for the fact that it might open in 2027, it might open in 2028. A lot of people are wondering what's taking so long for one singular attraction. It's because they're kind of trying to plug this into Pixar Pier-ish, but anyone who is familiar with the freaky circle that is Disney's California Adventure, there's not a lot of real estate to work with over there. So you either have to invent space from something that belongs to somebody else, or you kind of have to take the Avatar approach and you have to take that space away from somebody else. So I think for one singular attraction, they're kind of trying to invent space around that area. Like I think it might be going like off of where San Francisco and Pixar Pier are. It's just going to kind of be shoved in there. So I don't know, maybe we'll get something a little bit more specific. Maybe it won't be as late as 2027 or 2028, but they talked about it, so we'll see. Heading over to Animal Kingdom for these next couple of announcements. They did announce that It's Tough to Be a Bug is going to be closing at Disney's Animal Kingdom to make way for a brand new Zootopia show moving into the Tree of Life Theater. Since that announcement last year, It's Tough to Be a Bug has closed. They have started work on the Tree of Life Theater to allow the citizens of Zootopia to move in. It has since been announced that the show is going to be called Zootopia Better Together, and it is slated to open winter of this year. So if I were a gambling man, it's probably going to open just after Zootopia 2 comes out. It's not unlike Disney to open attractions alongside films. They've actually been doing that for many years. So I wouldn't be surprised if you give your guests the opportunity to go see Zootopia 2 in theaters, and then, oh, let's go to Disney World. While we're here, let's go check out the Zootopia show. Oh, I recognize that character, and that character from the movies. It's a good marketing strategy, but that's what I think will happen. I think we're going to get a more specific opening date, and I think it's going to be after the Thanksgiving holiday. Staying over at Animal Kingdom, we got further confirmation regarding what is going to be happening with Dino Land. More previously on from like 2023 D23 Expo, they had a blue sky concept for just kind of shoving a Zootopia land and a Moana area in where Dino Land is. Disney Imagineering has taken a different approach, which I think is going to be a lot better and kind of fit the already existing theme of Animal Kingdom, and that is bringing in a brand new original village telling various stories of the tropical Americas, that part of the world. they're going to create a brand new village called Pueblo Esperanza. And then off to one side of the village is going to be the family Madrigal and Casita from Encanto, and there's going to be a brand new boat ride. And then off to the other side, there is this newly discovered Mayan temple that Indiana Jones has moved into to kind of do his excavating. So lots of new stories to tell. I think we're going to get a little bit more information regarding this. I don't really know what they would give us aside from a more set in stone closing date for Dinosaur over at Animal Kingdom. They've already closed down Chester and Hester's. They're kind of closing off bits and pieces of Dino Land at a time. I think Dinosaur is going to be the last thing to close. And I think given the fact that they are closing Dino Land in phases, I think we can expect for this new Tropical Americas inspired land to also open in phases. I think we're going to get the village first. I think we're going to get Pueblo Esperanza first. Then I think we're going to get Encanto. And then I think we're going to get Indiana Jones. These are just my predictions. Maybe we'll get some kind of announcement like that during D23 this year. Heading to the other coast over at the Disneyland park, it was announced that a brand new show about Walt Disney was actually going to be moving into the Main Street Theater, or the Main Street Opera House. I can't remember what it's called. Where Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln currently is, a brand new Walt Disney show was going to move into that same theater. And it was going to feature the first ever Walt Disney animatronic, which is huge. Not like actually huge. He's like an average sized person, but in terms of news, like it was not something that anybody saw coming. And since that announcement, this show has opened up. It actually had its first showing, I think it was in July. The animatronic does look pretty cool. It is a show that I will say I haven't heard necessarily great things about it, but I haven't heard anything glaringly bad about it though either. And before I go on to the last of the D23 announcements for the States, I do want to give some shout outs to things that were announced internationally for Disney parks last year. First off, it was announced that 4 brand new Disney cruises were going to be joining the Disney Cruise Line fleet. That brings the number of ships that Disney has up to 13. Pretty cool, I guess. Also announced that a new Frozen Land and a brand new Lion King Land, the first Lion King Land ever to be in a Disney park, are both going to be going to Disneyland Paris. The Frozen Land, I believe, is currently under construction. Not much else info was given for the Lion King Land. If I'm remembering my news correctly, it is slated to open much, much later than everything else. So maybe we'll get more information about those. I'm also not as passionate about the international parks because I don't frequent them, but I will report the info. Also, 2 brand new Spider-Man inspired experiences are going to be going to Shanghai and Hong Kong. So, nice. Good for Spidey. All right, and the next super big, awesome D23 announcement from 2024 was that a brand new Villains Land. They're not getting their own park, they're getting a land coming to Magic Kingdom. This kind of goes back to that Beyond Big Thunder Mountain concept that I mentioned earlier. We've officially gone from 2 years worth of blue sky concepts, and we're officially at like a ground level concept art here. So I think this actually is going to happen. I think this is going to be the land that is actually going to be beyond Big Thunder Mountain, going to be kind of beyond the borders of the Magic Kingdom, which makes sense given the fact that they're Disney villains, trying to kind of keep them at their distance from the rest of the Magic Kingdom. And it is really cool to see this land finally come to fruition. This was something that they had mentioned at D23 in 2023 and 2024. So it is kind of cool getting to see this kind of continue its journey. This is something that fans have been saying for a while would be really cool. If it's a land or a park, doesn't matter. It has just been a lot of concept art. So I'm personally predicting and hoping that this year we're going to be getting some more specific concept arts on different attractions and dining experiences, what villains we're going to be seeing. But yeah, still exciting stuff. And before I go on to the last piece of D23 previously on Where Are They Now from last year, I do want to just say again, if you haven't already, be sure you subscribe over here to our YouTube channel. Be sure you check out our family small shop, mickeyandmandy.com. We do make screen printed shirts, custom bags, and handmade home decor inspired by these very same theme parks that I'm discussing right now. And also, again, be sure that you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads so you don't miss out on the new product drops, those weekly ready to ship drops, and any sales that we're going to be running. This is also a good way to get your Mickey and Mandy fix in between YouTube seasons. All right, now on with the show. The last bit of D23 news that came last year was that a brand new Monsters Inc. land, Monstropolis, is coming to the Walt Disney World Resort, specifically over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And this was one that kind of stumped Disney park fans for a while, because where are you going to put it? Are you going to put it over at Star Wars Launch Bay? Are you going to put it where Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Show is? Are you going to put it where the Muppets are? Are you going to just kind of, again, invent space and you're going to put it like where the cast member behind the scenes area is? Nobody knew. All they said is that it's happening, and they released this really cool piece of concept art for the roller coaster, and that was just it. They just left. Since then, obviously, there have been some updates. So construction on this land has already started, because Monstropolis is going to be moving in to where Muppet Vision 3D is, where Mama Melrose used to be, and where Pizza Rizzo used to be. They've already started kind of tearing down bits and pieces of the buildings. Like, they are hitting the ground running on this. So since construction has already started, I think from D23 this year, we can expect a more specific opening date. I think they kind of teased us with the roller coaster last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little bit more information about other attractions that are going to be in that area, maybe some teasing with the dining. But that is D23. My Post-its are on the floor. I do want to take this other very quick opportunity to kind of discuss my wish list for what I'm hoping Disney will announce at D23. There is no rhyme or reason to any of this. A lot of this is just crazy wild dreams, but that's how all this started in the first place, so you never know. And I'm going to kind of go in order of the domestic parks here. So starting at the Magic Kingdom in Disney World, my crazy wish list item is I want them to do something with where Stitch's Great Escape used to be. If you never got to go on Stitch's Great Escape, it was a show with Stitch, and it wasn't cute, cuddly Stitch. It was like slobbery, boogery, crazy, wild, eating people's chili dog Stitch. It was just bad. It had a good run. They TP'd Cinderella Castle. Everybody hated it, so they closed it. But it's just been sitting there for years now. And it is one of those things, some like fun little tidbits here. It's difficult to put anything new in that space, because that does technically share structures and walls with a gift shop and a couple different dining opportunities on that other side of Tomorrowland. So it's easier said than done to put something new in there. Doesn't change the fact that that is an entire chunk of Tomorrowland, though, that is just empty. I'd like to see something new go in there. Again, I don't know if they will. Over at Epcot, again, I don't think this even merits a full-blown D23 announcement, but I would love for them to update the animatronics in the Frozen ride over at Epcot. If you've seen the on-ride footage for the international Frozen rides, you know that those are real, actual animatronics with moving faces and everything like that. The Frozen ride, as it opened in Epcot, as it exists in Epcot, was put together during a time where Disney really liked face projections, like to a fault. And they've been doing it for years, going all the way back to Haunted Mansion. They did it with Buzz Lightyear on Space Ranger Spin and Astro Blasters. They've also done it a little bit in the Little Mermaid rides that exist in Disneyland and Disney World. I think the most notable example is probably the Seven Dwarves on the Mine Train in Magic Kingdom. But they did it in this Frozen ride, and it's a dark boat ride. Everybody's costumes are dark. So when you've got dark rooms and dark costumes and face projections, I'm only looking at the face, and it doesn't look good when I know that it can look better. So I would like to see that progress come to Epcot. Over at Studios, I don't actually know if they're going to announce anything brand new, because they've already announced the new Muppets roller coaster that's going to be moving into Rock and Roller Coaster. We got the new Villains show over there, and we're probably going to be getting a lot of info regarding Muppets, so I don't think we're going to get anything new over there. And they also announced that something new is moving into where Star Wars Launch Bay is. They're going to be kind of redoing Animation Courtyard, if you will. So again, if they announce anything brand new for Studios, it's going to be a surprise to me. And honestly, same energy over for Animal Kingdom. Unless this is the year where they finally announce they're going to fix the Yeti, I don't think we're going to get anything new for Animal Kingdom either. I think it's just going to be further announcements progressing what we already know. I'm going to skip Disneyland. I'm going to come back to Disneyland because I have a big ask for that one. But for California Adventure, that's another one. They've kind of got their hands full between the Coco ride and leveling the Hollywood backlot and Mike and Sully and bringing Avatar in there. Those are big things for a very small area. I don't foresee anything new being announced for California Adventure either. But Disneyland. Imagineering, hear me. Look here. Look. Bring back the people mover. Bring it back. I don't understand it. You guys had your weird experimental phase with Eisner when you did the rocket rods, and it didn't work. It didn't work. And Tomorrowland just looks sad. Just bring back the people mover. Disneyland fans have been very patient. That's not even my coast. That's not even the Disney park that I frequent the most. And oh my God. I'll go do it myself if that's what it takes, but bring back the people mover, please. Okay, I'm done. I'm better now. I'm cool. I'm fine. So those are my D23 thoughts. That was the previously on. That's where we are now. That's where I think we're going. But let us know in the comments, what do you think they're going to announce at D23? What are you hoping they announce at D23? If we get enough people to comment, bring the people mover back to Disneyland, I think we can convince them. But again, make sure you hit the subscribe button over here. Make sure you follow us over on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Thank you so much for being here for this season 2 of Mickey and Mandy YouTube videos. We will see you after the break, but that's going to be real soon. So we'll see you real soon.